been bullied? I'm raising my hand. Let's stay quiet. Let's stay quiet. Quiet. Shh. All right. Put your hands down. Now listen to this next question very carefully. And be honest. How many of you have bullied someone else? My hand is up. Quiet. All right, okay. So obviously, we have a situation here. We have a number of people who have been bullied. And we have a number of people who have admitted to bullying others. What do you think we should do about that? I think there's a good starting point. And I want to start over here. And I want you guys to be very quiet. And I want you guys to do something if you have the courage to do it. Some of you raised your hands and said you were bullied. Others raised their hand and said, yeah, I've bullied someone, and I appreciate your honesty. But I'm going to ask you to do something quietly, and hopefully you'll have the courage to do that. If you raised your hand and said that you bullied someone, and that person just happens to be in this section, again, quietly. And there should be absolutely no laughing. I want you to get up, walk over to that person quietly, and apologize. Does anybody have the quiet? Does anybody have the courage to do it? Quietly. There's a hug. Quiet. Quietly. If you want to stop bullying, I'm going to ask you on your own to raise your right hand and take my Step Up Stop Bullying pledge. So if you want to do this, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I promise. Starting today. To never bully. I promise. That if I see someone being bullied, I will tell a teacher or an adult. I promise, starting today, to step up and stop bullying.
Principle 1. Nonviolence is a way of life for courageous people.
Principle 2. Nonviolence seeks to win friendship and understanding.
Principle 3. Nonviolence seeks to defeat injustice, not people.
Principle 4. Nonviolence hopes at suffering, educate, and transform.
Principle 5. Nonviolence chooses love instead of hate.
Principle 6. Nonviolence believes that the universe is on the side of justice.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. Making peace must start within. On this day, May 11, 2023. I commit myself as best as I can. To practice nonviolence and remain peaceful regardless of circumstances. I pledge to promote human equality, be drug-free, practice the noble tenets of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and perform community service projects with my school and community. Furthermore, I pledge to follow the 6 principles of nonviolence. You may now lower your right hand.
Because y'all act like y'all ready to get back to class. Oh, okay, there we go. Now we can get y'all to answer. Y'all like, nah, we want to go to Starbucks. Yeah. Like I said, I played the trumpet. Is this the junior high band or the high school band? Oh, okay, sorry. High school. Man. Y'all don't have a junior high band? Where y'all at? Make some noise here. I know they didn't get y'all to do nothing, but I got you. I got you. You want to recognize everybody. Hey, what are my football players at? Where y'all at? Where the football team at? There you go. What position you play? Tight end? You said tight end? Y'all was having a little big squad. You play tight end? You kind of skinny, bro. That's all right. That's all right. We gonna get you in wide or something. You gotta be a little bit bigger to play tight end.
I'm gonna tell you the trick. So someone has asked me to come to Stuttgart Junior High School to make this happen, and they told me that you guys know how to get loud. Is that true? I know. I just had the band with me last week. Where are the band members? Raise your hand. Make some noise. So y'all know what's about to happen, right? Are you ready? We're gonna do this right here in Stuttgart style. Before we go any further, I want to do one thing. I'm speaking of the band. I want y'all to make some noise for a good friend of mine who came out here, and you see him every day on television. He has a Step Up, Stop Bullying campaign, which I had an opportunity to learn a lot from. Good friend, I told him he's not even a friend, he's like a brother of mine. Y'all give it up again for Kelly. All right, we have some other friends and family here in the audience. Man, I tell you, Lynette Frazier, please stand up. City Councilman Pine Bluff. Former City Director of Little Rock, Ms. Doris Wright, stand up. Doris, all the way from Little Rock. Awesome, awesome. Thank y'all so much. Good friend of mine I just met, feel like I've known him forever. I'm going to ask him to stand so that we can give a presentation. Good friend of mine, Representative Moore. Y'all make some noise right here. Your state representative. Representative Moore. All right, come on, Representative. We're going to do something real quick. So, Stuttgart band came out to the state capitol, and I didn't know that you guys had it in. The way that they came and they performed and they made some noise. I'm going to ask you to invite their director up right quick.
Mr. Kevin Sherman, would you please come up here?
All right, well, Mr. Sherman, you know, the Arkansas Martin Luther King Jr. Commission, our goal is to promote racial harmony, multicultural diversity, and social equality. You helped us maintain and uphold that standard, sir, at the state capitol last week on May 3rd for our 30th anniversary of commemorative vigil. We thank you for all that you do. You didn't have to come all the way from Stuttgart, but you did. And I thank you for that. And the kids, and on behalf of the Arkansas Martin Luther King Jr. Commission, Representative Moore and I would like to give you a check for your band for supplies for $5. Keith, I heard that. You said hurry up before it bounces. Hurry up and cash it. Thank you so much. I also thank this very distinguished group of individuals here. Thank you so much for coming out and being part of our wonderful celebration. And soon to be, our speaker will be coming to the stage. But first I want to get to know you a little bit better. All right? I'm going to give these computers out to you. What do we have here? This is a laptop? Android? Okay, look. You got one? We're going to do one at a time, okay? The Arkansas Martin Luther King Jr. Commission was the most active in the nation. Last time that I checked, my job as executive director of the Arkansas Martin Luther King Jr. Commission was to teach about Dr. King's legacy and noble tenets, and they told me that I can reach you at any rate possible. I'm gonna reach you at some level hip-hop style. Last time that I checked, DJ, have 10. Y'all ready? Over here, make some noise! And y'all are quiet. The only noise is right here. We're gonna do this different. Hold on. BJ, hand 10. Are y'all ready? Come on. Make some noise. Everybody. Stand up. Since I'm over here on Junior's high side, I don't want to walk over there because I'm tired. Yeah, we're gonna take my home. Here we go. I need some noise. Break down. 3, 2, 1. Here we go, drum.
We ready for our speaker?
Paris fan, white minded married, white minded married too, and meet the Blues. He was nominated for a Lando P Award for Outstanding Actor for his role in Meet the Blues. You've also seen him as Jacob Greenlee in the Oprah Winfrey Network drama series Greenlee, and in the BET Plus drama The Black Panther. Mr. Rucker is no doubt a distinguished actor and host, but he is also a husband and father. On behalf of Arkansas Better Dads, Stuttgart, please join me in the...
Hold on, we're going to do this way. Are you ready? On behalf of Better Dads, Stuttgart, please join the Arkansas Martin Luther King Jr. Commission in welcoming the one and only
Lamman Rucker.
microphone. Good morning. I don't want to stay back here.
Take it off.
All right, yeah, that's cool. All right, so I'm going to move around a little bit. Is that cool? All right, so did I hear correctly? Like, this is a high school and this is a junior high school? And y'all just graduated from high school? No? But you're like, no, not yet. What's that? Y'all in junior high school too? It's that big. Y'all can fit up there? Student council. Okay, so we got some leaders down here. These are parents, staff, right? No. She's like, no, I just came from Mississippi just to. Well, I came from LA. All the way from Los Angeles. I'm hearing a lot of Will and Sasha jokes, so I guess we got a lot of Meet the Browns fans here. All right. Any Greenleaf fans? I might have to test. Some of y'all might not even been alive. You'll probably see some common threads in almost everything that I do. Have you all seen me play a father before on television? How many times? Almost every time, right? You ever seen me play somebody's husband? Almost every time, right? Sometimes I'll be messing up some marriages, but it wasn't me. But I say that to say it's important to me in the work that I do to make sure that I'm doing the best I can to set an example. And not just on screen and on TV and when you go to the movies or whatever, but even in real life, because we see people playing these roles and then in real life, they acting a fool. Or they're not well. Or they don't have the right kind of support. They don't have the information. And sometimes they don't have examples. And sometimes, I hate to say it this way, but sometimes the entertainment industry lies to you. We lie to you, and I have to say we because that's a big part of what I do for a living. So what I want you all to be very, 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 very careful about, and why I'm here to tell you this personally, is to tell you to be careful about the examples that you follow. There are a lot of us, a lot of other men just like me, who are out here really trying to do some seriously positive, healthy work, trying to be good men, to work against all these negative narratives and stereotypes about black men and boys and brown men and boys and all of you young ladies here from all over Arkansas. Like, people have assumptions about you. People assume all kinds of things about you. And a lot of those things, and I would say most of those things, aren't true. But what happens is, sometimes we make them true. And we make them true because we don't believe that they're supposed to be any different than what people show us and tell us. Right? But you have to believe that you can be one of the good ones. That being somebody who has their act together doesn't make you an exception. It's not an exception. That's the expectation. Right? Why shouldn't everybody do the best they can to do the best they can, and every once in a while somebody might fall off the horse, but no, instead it's starting to look a little bit like the opposite. Don't we feel like we get so much more negative information than we do positive information? That doesn't help any of us. I get just as discouraged as you all. Trust me, I do. So what I try to do in my work, and the reason why I do things like this, and why I make sure I invest the time, no matter how far, no matter how wide, no matter how big the town, Stuttgart is just as valuable and just as important as any other town in government leadership, and even having the support of the community, that we encourage healthy fatherhood examples. And young ladies, let me tell you something. I claim a lot of kids. If somebody asked me how many kids I have, you know what I would say? I got 12 kids. I got 12 kids. And that's not counting the ones on television. That means I got 26 kids. And the way that would look is that means I also have 7 baby mamas and 6 wives. It doesn't sound right, does it? But at the same time, it's something I'm very proud of, because I say that to say that all of these families, all of these children are actually children that I take care of, that I'm present for. I was broke, it's a joke, when I started parenting. And you know what I learned? Parenting doesn't have anything to do with how much money you make. Nothing to do with how much money you make. Unfortunately, though, what we've gotten in the habit of doing is a young lady might say, well, I don't need you, just give me my check. Or, because y'all ain't dealing no more, or because you barely knew each other in the first place. Or because you lied to each other, showing up as one thing, and then by the time y'all learn the truth of each other, a little bubble on the way. Yep, and the truth shows up, somebody gotta raise this child. And unfortunately, what do people do, especially if they're too young and they're unprepared? The TV raises the baby. The lies that entertainment shows you raises the baby. The foolishness y'all listen to raises the baby. But there are healthy examples all around you. And there are many men, just like me, that although they didn't parent any of these 26 children, they show up. They're in your communities. They're in your families. And just because a father may not live in the home doesn't mean he's not present. But the best we can, let's keep the fathers in the home. Young men, young ladies, it is a huge responsibility. How many of y'all want to drive? How many people, y'all can't wait to drive? But guess what? I can guarantee you, most of y'all are just thinking about the pleasures and the joy of driving, not about the responsibility. You understand me? Okay? You can't wait to get your hands on that steering wheel. Can't wait to be in that car. But a car is a weapon. That car can hurt somebody if it's not managed properly. Same thing goes with your mind, same thing goes with your body. And as all of you develop sexually, and you're trying to figure out who you are, and you're coming into your own sense of identity and power and all this stuff, you gotta be very careful the choices you make about your body, how you feel about your own body, being proud of your body, being happy and content and at peace with how you are made. Stop weighing yourself every morning. Throw the scale in the trash. Also, stop eating hot Cheetos for breakfast. How about that?
That's right.
But the way you feel about yourself, the way you value yourself, the worth that you give to yourself impacts who you surround yourself with, who your friends are, who you date, and who you share your body with. Those are big decisions. They're big decisions. And if we're not careful, and then we continue to bring young people into the world that we're not prepared to manage, very seldom does that parental union stay together. And trust me, it's not just teenagers that have this issue. Let me be very clear. I know 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds that don't have their act together either. They're still learning what it means to make relationships work. They're still learning what it means
need to have a healthy relationship with their own body, let alone share it with somebody else. And then on top of that, you gotta rear another human being. It's a lot. It can be a lot. But guess what? We've been doing this since the beginning of time. So if there's one thing human beings have the capability of figuring out, it's how to figure out how to love each other, how to take care of each other, and how to raise babies that got some sense, and babies that we can keep safe, and keep ourselves safe, and keep one another safe, and value fathers just as much as we value mothers. Men, boys, you boys, everybody look at me. I'm seeing some of y'all who aren't looking at me. I'm looking at all of you. I can see who's looking at me and who's not. Look at me and hear me clearly. Your body deserves the same respect, the same care, the same value that a young girl does. So when you think you're disrespecting them, you're disrespecting yourself. You've got to take care of yourself. You've got to know how your body works. You've got to understand that your body is also precious and you need to treasure it and be very careful how you treat it and how you let other people treat it and who you give access to your body. It does not make you a player or a pimp. It makes you a punk to throw your body around like it has no value. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Be careful who you're listening to. Because most of the time, and I can tell you this for a fact, because I know some of these people, and I know the agendas, I know the images and the little fakeness that's going on throughout these industries. A lot of the men out here talking the way they talk, that's not even how they behave. They lying, fronting, scared to death, trying to tell y'all they gangsters. And then y'all out here trying to be gangsters, following somebody who's lying to you. Y'all out here smashing and grabbing so you can wear name brands, people, families, names you don't even know. Pressed, robbing, stealing, disrespecting each other, clowning somebody because they don't wear this, that, and that. And then that's where this conflict comes from. That's where a lot of this violence is coming from. It's foolish. It's foolish. And I know what I'm talking about because I've been you. I am you. I've been there. I've been bullied. My man was just out here talking about bullying. I've been bullied. I know the feeling. I know what it feels like to want to hurt somebody who I feel like is trying to hurt me or who has hurt me. I've been hit. I've been jumped. I've been shot at. Don't get this little Glason, this little handsome fella stuff. Don't get it twisted. I've seen some things. I know what I'm talking about. I've lost people. I've lost people that look just like you. Just like you. Because they fell into these gaps, man. They fell into these traps. We can't afford to lose none of y'all. We need you. You may have been unplanned, but you were not an accident. Amen. And the longer you're here, the better opportunity you have to figure it out. But when you sell yourself short, when you don't value yourself, you don't value other people, you limit your opportunity to figure it out. I know we're tough on you. Yeah. Welcome to the road. Yeah, we're tough on you. Okay? But that's because there are high expectations. Yeah, I'm looking right at you. There are high expectations, and you'll appreciate it later. Believe me. You know how many times oh my God, leave me alone. Get off my back. I want to be like, shut up. Now y'all actually think y'all got the nerve to tell the teacher, shut up. I heard somebody pepper spray somebody.
about y'all clowning, man. Get out of here. Kill him. But you gotta give yourself the opportunity. If you want to win the game, you gotta be in the game. And if you want to win the game, you can't come to a basketball court with football cleats on. Y'all think you know what game is being played, and you're coming ill-equipped. You're not ready. You're not prepared. And then you feel ashamed because you keep screwing up. Yeah, you keep screwing up. Because you don't know what you're doing. Stop trying to act like you know what you're doing. And that also goes back to fatherhood. You know how many people I know in gangs? You know how many times I've been in the middle of gang intervention? You don't think I've been run up on? When I was 14, I was offered $1,500 a week to hustle and sell drugs and bang. Like, what? Yeah, for a second I was like, that's a lot of money. But thankfully, I had enough sense and I had enough people around in my life, like the people you all have right here in this community, to talk some sense in me, and in my heart, I knew better. And deep down in your hearts, you know better. Don't be afraid to do the right thing. That's $1,500. That's pennies. Pennies. But to y'all, you think it's a lot of money. And you're willing to go to jail for it, or die for it, or kill somebody else for it. So you're going to ruin how many families for $1,500? That's what you're worth? And split that up. I bet you know people who rob somebody for less. So now let's do some math. I robbed somebody for $1,500. And so automatically, there's two people in the equation. So how much was each life worth? $750. Really? $750? Now that person, what? Has two parents. All right, so now, and how many people in the equation? 4. The other person has two parents. How many more people in the equation? So what's 1,500 divided by 6? Anybody? Anybody? What is it? 1,500 divided by 6. Ooh, y'all getting found out. I'm not even going to give you the answer because I'm a math specialist, and you know what I know? The answer isn't even the point. It's the process. It's the equation. It's how you think. It's understanding and comprehending the equation. The point is, $1,500 divided by 6 is nothing. Does not have enough value for what each of those people are worth and how they're impacted by that one moment of foolishness. There's too many fathers who aren't here. There's too many fathers who aren't here. Some of you young ladies are getting just as violent, more violent than the boys. There's a lot going on with y'all, we know. But you gotta find another way to work through these things. You hear words like mental health and stuff like that. That's so important. That doesn't mean you're ill. It just means you have feelings and you need to develop some tools on how to deal with those feelings. And not take it out on each other and then have your friends foolish enough to videotape it and stand around and laugh. You know who you are. So you'd rather be part of the problem as opposed to part of the solution? Where they do that at? You're worth more than 1,500 divided by 6. You know how many confrontations I've been in? And I had to have another voice come in here and say, Lamman, keep your hands to yourself. He has a family. He's someone's son. He might be somebody's father. Or at some point, even if he isn't now,
give this young man the opportunity to be someone's husband and someone's father? Why would I ruin that man's life and his family, who will be traumatized by his loss, as well as traumatize my family, and put myself either 6 feet deep or 6 feet behind bars because of an argument? Because somebody called me out my name? You can call me whatever you want. You can call me whatever you want. Whether I listen to you, whether I respond, that's up to me. You may try to insult me. You can't insult me. I know my name. I know where I come from and I know who I belong to. You can call me whatever you want. Matter of fact, you know what? You can even talk bad about my mama. Yeah, see? Y'all have already lost control. So all I gotta do is talk about your mama and I own you.
Yep. Come on, tell him.
I can manipulate you just by saying something about your mama, and everything you do after that, I own you. I've now taken control over you, and you've been foolish enough to let me do it. Simply because I said, your mama, or your daddy is, or whatever, however y'all talk to each other. But if that's not your name, they're not talking to you.
That's right.
But again, if you don't value who you are, if your name doesn't actually have value to you, if it's easy to disrespect you and make you feel like you aren't nothing, then maybe you still got some work to do to believe that you are somebody in the first place. You feel me? That makes sense? So even if somebody try to call you out your name, and there's all kind of other people like, oh man, you gonna let them say that? Yeah, so I got bigger fish to fry. I got dreams to accomplish. I got stuff to do. There ain't letting no clown take me off my game. I'm better than that. I'm more valuable than that. I got stuff to do. I'm a child of God. However you see God. However you see God. You got to see yourself as a reflection of your relationship with God. That's how important you are. At least that important. But show up. Show up for yourselves. Show up for each other. You can parent children that don't belong to you. Matter of fact, I would like to encourage all of you. Before you have children, start practicing parenting by being the best uncle, the best godmother, godfather, auntie, uncle, so-and-so, the such and such and such and such, mentor. That's what mentoring is. Find you a little brother, find you a little sister, and keep the relationship appropriate. Don't be the inappropriate auntie. Don't be the inappropriate uncle. But enough of that. Be the appropriate uncle. Be the loving auntie. All right, yeah. Like y'all got your arms around each other. I love it. Take care of you. Take care of each other. Hug your sisters. Guys, you can hug your bro. You can tell your boy I love you without prefacing it with, now hello. Gotta give you all's lives the time to mature so you can understand these things. You will never be a complete man until you embrace the parts of you that are female. Y'all understand that? Does that make sense? No? Makes you feel kind of weird, doesn't it? Yeah, you're like, what? What's happening? I don't know what you did. You'll see. You'll see how gangster you become when you really recognize the feminine power within you. That's gangster. When you realize that both energies are important. Young ladies, you too. The masculine energy, whatever that even supposed to mean, that's within you. That's a healthy part of you. Yeah, embrace that. You ain't gonna be a grown woman. Like you ain't gonna, I'm a grown woman. I'm 12. I'm grown, I'm 18. You're a baby. Trust me. You might be legally an adult, but you're a baby. But to be fully evolved, you gotta learn all this about yourself, about your body, about you. It's you getting to know you. So can't nobody take you off your game, call you out your name, disrespect you. Doesn't matter. Whatever. And when you all start figuring this stuff out, work together and hold each other accountable. Okay, I got it. I'm almost done. All the heat that comes on y'all, it really is to make it better. We are trying to save your life. Yeah. But when we're not here, we gotta trust you to be able to figure it out and do it on your own. And there's no way to be perfect. Now, I do believe excellence is something you should strive for, but you're not always gonna get it perfect. You're not. It's okay. It takes practice. But practice takes time. If you're not here, you don't even have the opportunity to try. Keep trying. Okay? Keep trying. We believe in you. We love you. We need you. We're depending on you. I know we screwed a whole bunch of stuff up, so we've handed you a broken down truck, a big old Mack truck that got 2 wheels. And we expect you to figure out how to fix it and how to drive it. We know how much we screwed up, especially if we don't want to admit it. And that's why y'all gotta be sharp. And if we're doing our job is to make you better than us. Not worse. Not worse. So step your game up. Stop playing games. Step your game up. Stop making excuses. No excuses. On top of your game, no matter what. Keep your hands to yourself, no matter what. Be patient with how you try to rub out on each other. That was me trying to be country, but here, I failed. I see how be careful how you rub on each other. Take your time. Keep your hands to yourself. Stop being violent. Don't abuse yourselves. Don't hurt yourselves. Don't hurt other people. Value your relationships. Take care of these boys the same way you take care of girls. And those of you who are fathers or who want to be fathers, plan to be fathers, or trying to figure out what it means to be a father, keep working. Ask for help. The help is there. Okay? Ask for help. Now let's support these dads. Let's support these dads. And if you're a dad, that doesn't mean just showing off a picture on your phone. That means be there. My mom has a quote that I love and follow me here. My present is my presence. And my presence is my present. Make sense? There's a couple ways you can interpret that. So I'm not going to tell you how to interpret it. But I want that to land with you. And all the many ways that that's related to what we've been talking about. Your present is your presence. And your presence is your present. Be here. Be in the moment. Try to leave the past behind you. Don't live back there. Don't be too far ahead of yourself. But plan for what you want to happen next. Look forward with confidence, with faith.
There's a special day this weekend. We're talking about fathers. And by the way, y'all, you heard Lamman say he had He was joking. He does not have 12 kids. Okay? He's no one child.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I didn't father them, but I have 12 kids.
Amen.
Well said. Well said. Give a round of applause.
I've been to many PTA meetings. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
So one moment, real quick, for community leaders, we're going to address them. But before we do, there's a special day that I want to recognize this weekend. But prior to that, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you to many of the mothers in the audience. DJ, help me out. You know, there comes an opportunity when we, as individuals, community leaders, can recognize special individuals. These special individuals mean a lot to us. And if we get to say a few things, like thank you for all that you do, and being an auntie, a full representative, somebody plays an important part in my life, even a man, to look you in your eyes and say thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you went first.
So this way? Other way?
Somebody might start trying to shoot.
Man, I gotta learn how to do that on the way back. We don't have a contest. I saw the bag. I thought I was with a bag of rice. Because it's a rice land, you know. Thank you guys so much.
Take a look at Mr. Bledsoe. He's a native. He attended public school district and participated in youth sports. He's the owner of Big Dog Cuts, and he provides free haircuts to young people who cannot afford haircuts. He's awarded the Dream Keepers Award. Mr. Frank Bledsoe, thank you. Our next honoree is Sergeant Paul Colvin, Stuttgart Police Department. Okay, he's on his way. He'll be back. All right, our next awardee, the Economic Development Award, is presented to Collie and Measley. Congratulations, Collie. All right, and thank you so much, Collie. Congratulations. All right, give her a hand. Give it up to Award. All right, our next award for outstanding community service is presented to Mr. Joe Alexander Jr. Joe spearheaded the Michelle Owens search party, which created a media buzz. He led a group to find Owens, a Stuttgart cold case who has been missing since April of 2015. The organization known as the Stuttgart Search and Rescue was founded by Joe, who occasionally meets to look for clues and talk with Stuttgart residents. The group has raised more than $8,000. Congratulations, Mr. Alexander. Our next honoree, the AMLKC Legal Award, is presented to a citizen who works with young people. Please welcome Jennifer White. She's a Stuttgart native and director of youth ministries at First Methodist Church. She has been described as a person with a heart of gold. She loves young people, and she has helped to grow her church's youth ministry by leaps and bounds. Thank you, Jennifer.
Next up, we'd like to present another award for working with youth to Mr. Vincent White. Vincent, we thank you for what you do. Vincent endured a lot of hardships and obstacles, but his life made a 360 when he was mentored by men of excellence. He began excelling in and out of the classroom. He is a pillar of the community. He wears his badge of service with passion. If you know, you know. He vowed to pay back his debt by trying to save as many troubled young people as he could. Thank you so much, Vincent. All right, so Sergeant Paul Coleman is back, and he's being presented the Outstanding Community Service and Mentorship Award. In April, he was awarded Community Service Award for the Community Easter event in appreciation for mentoring, protecting, and serving the Stuttgart community. Thank you so much, Sergeant Paul Coleman. We salute you, and we salute our members of the law enforcement community. And last but certainly not least, we'd like to present an award of appreciation in recognition of excellence in journalism to F. Lewis E. Coleman. In addition to being a journalist in addition to being an award-winning journalist, she is a mentor, community activist, and panelist. Her creativity in radio television has made a tremendous impact. She is a journalist with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Please give it up for F. Lewis E. Coleman.
Let's show love to who really deserves it, and make sure that they're being acknowledged as people who really deserve the respect and the appreciation. But I'm happy to come and shine on other folks, shine the light on them, and at the same time, always do the best I can to encourage our young people, push them, challenge them, not be afraid to have uncomfortable conversations with them, and just keep it real. Keep it, as we say where I'm from, keep it 100.
Where are you from?
All over. But, born in Pittsburgh, grew up in DC. But, it's just a way to speak in truth and sincerity, speak from the heart, and hopefully somebody's listening.
How does some of your personal experience influence your message?
Oh, 100%. I think it's impossible for your personal experiences not to influence, especially these types of conversations. Now, I know how to be a professional and not let my personal experiences get in the way of some of the work that I do, or certain messages that are necessary to have, or certain conversations that are necessary to have. So there's a way to do that and put your personal experience aside, manage your emotions or whatever, joy, pain, trauma, agenda, bias, all of that kind of stuff. But this is one of those times where I think it's important to just be yourself. And the way I feel is the way I feel. And to do that in a way that's still not disrespectful of anyone who doesn't feel the way I feel. And as much as an inclusive, conversation and relationship with the audience as you can have, but at the same time, just be honest about where you come from and what you've been through. And that transparency, I think, is important.
Okay, well, recently here in the city of Stuttgart, there's been an uptick in violent crimes, and for those, you did a beautiful job giving a message to the students today, but for those who did not get a chance to attend the ceremony today, there's an at-risk youth out there, or just the community in general, what would you tell them?
I think one of the important things is to actually listen to our children. I think we do a lot of correction, and we don't do enough listening. And even if sometimes the child's message is a little rough around the edges, it sometimes can lack the tact and sometimes even the respect that we would all prefer for it to have. I think it's really important to understand that these young people have feelings, and a lot of what's going wrong, so to speak, is the fact that their feelings aren't being acknowledged, they're not being listened to, we're not being compassionate enough about what's really going on with them. So even in the process of holding them accountable and having high expectations and making sure that there's structure and discipline and all these things, give them the opportunity to speak up and be heard, and then do something about what they're actually asking for. Otherwise, we don't care about their feelings, but we penalize their behavior. And to me, that doesn't make sense. I think that's unfair for our children to be in that kind of position. It's very difficult. There are a lot of things that just are institutionalized that I believe personally, again, that make a lot of the correction that I believe and even communication that used to happen within a family. Now, there's things that, parents can't do, or there's things that teachers can't say, or there's things that, so now, we create these environments where, I get the principle and the good intention of a no tolerance kind of thing, but these are children. There's no way. They're not going to screw up.
What would you say to some of those adults, those teachers?
That's a whole nother conversation about changing policy and how the fact that, again, some of our school structures and policies are so archaic. They're just not adapting and adjusting to what's really happening with our kids. This influx of technology and again, I talked about even this the gang issue and things like that, and a lot of that is boys trying to father one another because some of our fathers aren't as present as they could or should be, and then there's numerous reasons why that's the case. But also, let's make sure that we're very careful about not just jumping on the bandwagon of, in particular, black and brown fathers just aren't there and don't take care of their kids and all that, because that's foolishness, because the reality is a lot of black men and most black fathers are there. They are present, whether or not they're in the home or not, and what kind of support they get, and still being present for their kids and being involved and all that. So there's so many different philosophies on how to solve the problems, and that's the thing, they're problems, and because they're plural, and because there's so much complexity, it's really difficult to really kind of, dive in and just come up with a quick fix solution. And every community has its own unique dynamics and idiosyncrasies and what have you. So, but I think to its core, it's about listening to these children, being there for them, creating an environment where they don't have to try to be the adults that they're not. Let's stop calling these little boys the man of the house when they're 12, just because things didn't work out with his father. There's dynamics like that are a variety of different adjustments that we can make. But it's also about making sure that we really focus on mentorship, on healthy fatherhood images and healthy images of in particular men and boys of color.